Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And you know, there are people out there, multiple people have kind of accused me of this. People have sent me some links of things, and it's kind of come to me that there are rumors out there that I've had multiple GoFundMes and that I've taken all sorts of money from people and everything else, and so I shouldn't give Ian McCarthy a hard time about getting his thousands of dollars from GoFundMe. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. All right, first of all, yeah, we need to address these rumors, and the fact of the matter is, as far as I know, there were only 2 GoFundMes ever started on my behalf. Let me rephrase that, on my behalf. Now, if someone else started something else without asking me, because when I say on my behalf, meaning I have not started 2 GoFundMes. I did 1 GoFundMe quite some time back. But there have been no such things in the past 3 years. So let's get that clear. So if you've seen any GoFundMes outside of the 2 that I'm going to mention, I can assure you they're not me. If you gave to them, I'm sorry, you got conned by trolls who stole your money. It had nothing to do with me. But as far as that goes, the first GoFundMe that was started on my behalf was done by the GH15 group. I was not given immediate access to this GoFundMe. The funds, it was during the whole Lane Norton lawsuit situation, because the GH15 group did feel that he was a fake natty. They believed he completely lied about his gear use and everything else, and so therefore when he came after me, they thought it would be useful to raise money for the side that they thought it was right. The fees associated with trying to fight such a lawsuit, or for me to even having been given day in court, were enormous. So people are like, oh, he didn't even choose a fight. No, I didn't have the actual financial means to fight this fight. It's not like the U.S. to where if someone sues you, you just get a readout and a court date and you can just drive your car over to the court and show up on the day of the court and just do it. I wasn't given that sort of opportunity. People are confusing some things with the U.S., but that's not how it went down. I wasn't even able to get the full details of it. I had been told I had to file a legal defense. I didn't actually know specifically where it was going to happen. And the fees associated for me, I had been quoted, I think the minimum fee I had been quoted was something like 50,000 British pounds. That's like 70,000 US dollars. I didn't have that sort of money. They didn't raise that sort of money for me. So I realized it was not going to work the way that I wanted. I spoke with them about it because they sent me the money that they had raised, and it was like $2,000, something like that. And they had raised it, and they sent it to me, and I put it in an account, trying to figure this out. When we realized it wasn't going to work, I went and talked with them, and we discussed what the money should be used for instead, and we agreed upon that it would go to a no-kill dog shelter. So that money went to charity, and when we came to an agreement on that, I returned every last penny of the money back to the group of people who raised it, who organized it, who did all of that. I returned every penny of it. Because they did it on my behalf, guys. I want people to understand. I didn't start that GoFundMe. It wasn't my idea. It was started on my behalf by another group of individuals, okay? A small organization. And so I returned every single penny of the money that was sent to me from this donations that they raised, and they gave evidence way back then online. They put up proof that they gave it to a dog shelter, right? That money instead went to help a bunch of dogs, the stray dogs, guys. It went to a dog shelter. I didn't get any of it. Yes, I was given it temporarily, but I held it and I returned it when we agreed what would be the best use of the money. Okay, so I didn't spend any of that. I didn't use any of it. I returned all of it. And it went to charity. So it ended up not even going to me, even though people had donated it for my lawsuit. And that, for a lot of people, that wasn't even about me. That was because they just hated Lane Norton that bad. Let's be realistic here. That wasn't even about me. That was about Lane. That was about Lane. People hated him enough to raise $2,000. So that money got returned. So we need to keep in mind, I didn't start that GoFundMe. Okay, that was not my doing. It was another group of people who did it on my behalf, and I agreed with it after they suggested it and offered it and started it. They contacted me and I said, okay, yeah, let's do this. But you know, for the record, they did give evidence that they gave it to a charity. It didn't actually end up going to me. I returned all of the money. I sent it back to them. So let's get that out of the way up front. Number 2, yes, I did a GoFundMe in comedy Because when I got back to the U.S., I needed a car. I'd gone through my separation from my ex back then, and I was back in the U.S. single. I needed to go ahead and get a car. I had actual some money, but I was gonna have to raise funds. And my sister offered me her used Mercedes for like $10,000. Right, it was $10,000 car. Blue Book on it was about $12,000 at the time, so I was getting a sweet deal. But I did need a vehicle, and she said, "Hey, why don't you start a GoFundMe and just see if some of your fans want to donate?" And I thought, you know what the hell, let's do that. And let's keep in mind, guys, this was almost 4 years ago. We're coming up on 4 years. And I started a GoFundMe, and I made a joke out of it. It was all fun. I did it just in comedy and fun. I didn't even know if anyone would donate. And it ended up me just joking, saying, I had a hole in my heart, and it could only be filled with a fine piece of German engineering. And people gave around, I think it was $150 that towards my $10,000 car. And that was cool, that was fine, and I appreciated the gesture. But the difference there is, guys, tons of YouTubers have donation sites. That's normal. It was the one time I did that, and let's keep in mind, I didn't get exuberant amounts of money. I got $150. I mean, I make that every single day on YouTube, right? So just for the record, that's actually kind of about an average day for me. A lot of days better than that. That's normal what I get in a day for doing what I do already. But by that same token, if people want to donate, if they enjoy what I do, and I start something like that, and they feel that they want to give back, or they feel that I deserve some of their money or more money, people are free to do that. I mean, it's cool, it's fine. I have a Patreon. But, that's pretty normal in this industry. That's pretty normal. So I don't really think it's that big of a deal. And again, and with little stuff like that, they're just nice gestures. But all these other YouTubers do that. Hell, I see Callie does his donations during his live feed all the time, and people donate. I don't think that's pretty normal in this industry. I think the difference of the reason I give Ian a hard time is because Ian has the ability to make money. He refuses to use the tools that he has available and he's asking for thousands of dollars. That's the difference, guys. That's the difference. And he's doing it now repeatedly in the same year. I mean, he already got $4,000 in one of them that starts another GoFundMe. And you have someone who essentially, from what I can tell, really isn't fighting his depression the way that he should. Right? He really isn't. He doesn't. And I've given a lot of advice to him on that, and people think that I'm making fun of depression. I'm not. I've had depression in the past. I've dealt with a lot of people with depression. It's something I'm familiar with. And the reason I'm giving him a hard time is not necessarily because he's even doing the GoFundMes. It's because he's taking money from people, and he's still not willing to do the things that he needs to do to sort his own depression. He's not willing to fully take the steps that he knows he needs to take. And so therefore I feel like he is wallowing in it. He's not choosing to address it in a positive manner. And in the middle of just self-destructing, he's also begging people for money when he could actually do a little bit of his online work and run some of his online business and get money. He could do that. He has the option. He's just choosing not to. He has the ability to do so, and I'm saying that as someone who makes decent money online doing what I do. And quite frankly, I feel like for Ian, because of his depression, if he did something online and took the efforts to do something to earn the money instead of begging for the money, I feel like that would actually help with his depression. I've struggled with depression before. I've struggled with depression, and I can tell you right now, the behavior of just saying I'm not going to work, I'm too depressed to work, but to create a GoFundMe to beg for thousands of dollars and get thousands of dollars and then try to do it again, that doesn't build your self-esteem. And a lot of our depression comes from our self-esteem. It comes from our self-thinking, our self-programming. And I simply don't think the way that he's approaching this is healthy. And I don't think that he is going to get better. I think that if he doesn't change the way he's approaching this, and he doesn't start dealing with this like a man and in a healthy manner, that's going to be the end. I mean, it's going to be the end of it. He will not survive, and you guys understand what I mean by that. And that's the reality, and he needs to get a hold of that. He needs to understand that. And when you have the ability to actually make some money from home, sitting on your computer doing something that at least brings some value to other people that will enhance your sense of self-worth when you're wallowing in depression, to not do that and instead beg for all the money that you think you need to cover your stuff instead of trying to do some of it on your own, will make your depression worse. It's going to make you feel more useless as a person. It's not healthy. It's not good, and it's not in his best self-interest. Let's just call it like it is. And I don't see why some people don't understand that. That criticism is legitimate, and I'm speaking as someone who has overcome severe depression in the past themselves. All right, I've overcome it. I'm not coming at it from a place of criticism and ignorance. I'm coming at it from a place of someone who has been there, and I'm giving a little bit of tough love. Because I've had to pull myself out of the bottom of that hole before, all on my own. And I know what it takes to do it. I have personal experience here. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.